DIY, contractor, or kit. What really costs less? We'll assess lifetime costs. Next, the biggest driver. Labor often dominates installed price. DIY cuts labor but adds tools, time, and risk costs. Build means DIY, source materials and construct. Buy includes contractors or kits, foundations, permits excluded. Deck height drives complexity and cost. Ground lowest, raised higher, elevated highest. Materials comparison next. Material choices shift upfront price, maintenance, and lifespan. Next, we'll map costs by deck sizes. Typical 12 by 16 deck. Installed 6 to 19,000, DIY materials 2 to 8. Here's your deck cost map. Drivers from materials to maintenance. Next, we compare DIY versus buy. Compare fairly. Assess cost over 10 to 20 years. Next, address regional and code impact. Costs shift with labor, frost depth, climate codes, permits, and logistics. Next up, pressure-treated lumber. Pressure-treated is our baseline. Lowest upfront cost, but needs sealing and corrosion-safe fasteners. Cedar, redwood cost more. Cedar and redwood upgrade from pressure-treated. Higher cost, periodic recoating. Next, composite and PVC options. Compare composite and PVC costs, warranties, and specs. Next, we'll quantify joists and framing spans. Framing sets spans and stiffness. Expect $6 to $12 per square foot. Foundations next. Foundation choice affects cost and schedule. Consider soil, access, height. Next, include hardware and fasteners. Hardware costs add up. Deck screws, clips, hangers, ledger hardware. Next, railings by linear foot. Guardrails can be major cost drivers. Here are typical ranges. Next, stair costs and geometry. Typical code geometry. Short risers, deep treads. Costs vary by materials and labor. Next, wood finishes. Finishing recurs. Coat after build. Recoat every 2 to 3 years. Next, permits and inspection. Permits cost $50 to $500 plus. Footings, framing, final inspections. Next, design, engineering detail. Simple decks, standard details. Complex or roof decks may need engineering. $300,000, $1,200 plus. Next, labor rates. Expect higher rates for lead carpenters, with crews cheaper. Simple decks finish in days, complex, weeks. Here's where $9,000 goes on a wood deck. Next, what overhead and profit cover. Pro quotes exceed materials and labor. Overhead funds operations. Profit covers risk. DIY needs tools. Tools add cost if not owned. Rent to reduce upfront. Next, consumables and site prep. Consumables and disposal add up quickly. These are typical ranges before we factor waste and overage. Plan for waste. Wood 5–10%, composite 10–15%, framing 5–10%. Next, we value DIY time. DIY takes serious hours. Price your time. It often narrows contractor quotes. Next, code critical risks. High-risk code checks, ledger attachment and flashing, guard loads, stair geometry, frost depth footings, corrosion-resistant connector. Fixing failed decks costs hundreds to thousands, plus delays. Next, DIY versus pro insurance and liability. Contractors carry insurance. DIY risks include injuries, property damage, fines, insurance complications, and resale issues. Over 15 years, wood's DIY maintenance costs double composite, accumulating faster. Next, lifespans and warranty. These lifespans and warranties guide replacement timing. Next, we'll cover deck resale value and ROI. Most decks recoup some cost. Wood trends higher. Composites retain value. Next, prefab versus custom. Prefab kits cost less, but exclude footings, stairs, and railings. Custom builds meet local code. Modular pedestals suit low-rise. Elevated approvals vary. Next, we'll compare DIY, contractor, and kit costs. Case A, Standard ground level PT deck assumptions. Next, compare costs across DIY, contractor, and kit. Case A, DIY shows a simple breakdown. Contractor and kit show typical totals. Bar chart next. Case A highlights savings. DIY about 58% less, kit around 41. Next, composite decking. Case B, 12 by 16 composite deck. Ground level, ledger attached, same foundation. Next, DIY, contractor, kit. Composite costs higher up front. DIY 4.9K, kit 6 to 9, contractors median 12, totals next. Even with composites, DIY is still cheapest. Kits save 2. Next, larger elevated deck costs. At 8 feet high, rails and stairs dominate, often 25 to 40%, shrinking DIY practicality significantly at this scale. Net DIY saves about 10 to 40% on simple decks. Complex builds favor pros. Cost patterns. DIY simple. Kit standard, low height, contractor complex. Next, compute AIB hourly break-even. Here are DIY break-even hourly values. Value your time higher, and savings shrink. Next, TCO. Composite starts higher than wood DIY, stays below wood pro across 10 years. Seasonality matters. Off-peak discounts, faster permits, peak demand raises bids, weather, promos, shift prices. Next, hidden costs. Watch for hidden costs. Demo, utilities, soil fixes, access, changes, code ties. Regional extremes next. Regional extremes drive costs, coastal labor, remote freight, deep frost, severe loads, corrosion, HOA fees. Simple, low decks. DIY is cheapest. Elevated decks. Pros. Add code, speed, warranty. Wood DIY lowest.